Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Can y'all hear me? I don't see my bubble moving. Can y'all hear me or no? I'll wait till the room loads. I didn't do my normal 3-minute intro. So I just need one in the chat to see if y'all can hear me. Okay, yes. I don't know why my little bubble's not moving. All right, so what we're going to do today, I'm just going to get right into it. Hi, everybody. I know that was about 30 seconds. So basically, I'm like literally sick of all this crazy conspiracy theory shit. Um, that's gone on for the last week, 2 weeks, however, since the 19th of June. So what we're gonna do is I've got Paul here, and we're gonna try this whole taking accountability thing one more time. All right. So I think Paul's here. All right. Hello.
Good evening.
Hey, Paul. So I know last time we tried this, it was a little bit rocky. So I'm going to go with a different approach. I'm actually going to mute. And I just would like, and literally, it just quick and painless for you to just kind of give us the rundown of what happened from beginning to end.
Could I say a couple of things?
And without omitting any details with this call, because I know as you know, Paul, now Sweets is getting. I mean, our friends are getting doxxed. We've all been threatened. Death threats, the whole 9 yards, and it's just it's really upsetting people when they didn't have anything to do with it, and they're getting slung through the mud. So what I'm going to do is I just want you to just kind of tell us what happened from the beginning. Go ahead.
Yeah, could I respectfully say a couple of things at the start, please? Just touching on what you just said.
There?
I'm here.
Paul?
I'm here.
I don't think. No, I'm not saying. We don't need a backstory. Absolutely, we need what happened.
Brooke,
because I have the information, but I just want Paul to. Is he even still there? Because I don't hear him.
I'm here. I wasn't looking to give you the backstory. I was looking to address the point you just made, if I may respectfully,
Can somebody
please.
find out where he's at?
I'm here. I'm here.
Hi, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Oh, I don't hear him.
I'm here. Hello?
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. My own earbuds messed up this time. I'm so sorry. Start over. Go ahead. I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay.
All right, start over.
What I was going to say was you made an important point at the start. My intention wasn't to try and do a whole backstory piece, but I wanted to just address a couple of things, including the point that you just made at the start. Would that be okay, please?
Yes.
Because I need to respect where I am.
Go ahead.
First things first, and I know any words from me have no value. They have no meaning, and they're not worth anything. Nevertheless, I would like to very sincerely and deeply apologize from the bottom of my heart to the lady that you mentioned at the start of the discussion. I was obviously made aware of the events of last night, which have been devastating and heartbreaking. The thought that that poor lady was attacked in the most despicable and evil and underhanded, disgraceful manner that she was, bearing in mind respectfully that my wife is Latin as well. It made me sick to my bones, and I deeply, deeply apologize from the bottom of my heart. Not that that has any value, and not that I expect it to be accepted, sincerely, for what that poor lady was put through. It was one of the most evil and disgusting things I've ever seen in all my life.
Okay. So
could I say one other final thing, please?
Sure.
Brooke, have you got any objection if I address John?
Paul, all I want to happen of this discussion is for the correct blame to be laid in the correct place for the correct.
Well, this is what I'm coming to, Brooke. This is what I'm coming to.
Yes, absolutely. Any way that you have to do this, Paul, feel free.
Because this is exactly what I'm doing, right? Because you made a very good point. At the end of the day, in terms of blame and in terms of responsibility, it's me. If anybody wants to blame anybody, and if John wants to blame anybody, it's me. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, you know, anyone knows, at the end of the day, the only person to blame was involved, has made misguided judgments, is me. And at the end of the day, you know, this whole issue in terms of anybody else, you know, Maria or whatever, I don't do things for Maria. I'm not threatened, controlled, do anything for Maria. It's not. At the end of the day, if John wants to blame something, hold somebody accountable, it's me. At the end of the day, you know, I got traumatized, scared, triggered out of my mind, broke down, whatever you want to call it. That's not an apology. You know, I acted independently. This guy, I don't know what's happened to him, but his behavior is just not it's not the person that I used to know. And obviously, if he wants to hold somebody responsible for trying to report him to the authorities and hold him accountable for the horrible, disgusting things he's been doing, at the end of the day, the blame lies with me.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, Paul? I'm just going to
Can I just clarify a couple of other things quick, please?
Really quickly, can I ask you a question real quick? So how many people and who all did you ask to make this call that denied?
I was in a situation wherein I see 3 paperwork in to try and protect my family. I was triggered and I was traumatized and I was frightened. Everybody's tolerances are different. The guy's got 106,000 followers on IG, 40,000 on YouTube. Okay. Now I put paperwork in and I needed to speak to somebody at Seaside to try and get some traction. And ultimately, as I said to you the other day, honestly, I'm not allowed to make international calls. So hang on. Can I answer you? Brooke, I'm trying to answer your question. Sorry. Can I answer your question? Because I don't want to give you the backstory, because I know that you'll get angry and then I don't want that. All right. I want to be respectful. I'm here to be respectful.
Okay. So when you asked Phil to do it, what did he tell you?
No.
When you asked Bambi to do it, what did she tell you?
No.
When you asked Maria to do it, what did she tell you?
Hell no, can't do it. No way. You know I'm in court, Paul.
Not that she, again, it's not that she can't, it's that she wouldn't. There's no way.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Hell no, I can't. Hell no, I won't. Hell no, I would never do it anyway. Don't even ask.
Okay, so and then you asked, who else did you ask? Amzi? She told you what?
No.
And then you asked Debbie Loves to Chat, and what'd she tell you?
I was in a panic. I was in a state. I was falling to pieces mentally. I asked people that I should never, ever have asked, completely misguidedly, totally wrongfully, and I accept full responsibility. And ultimately, you know, it's my fault, Brooke. It's my fault for asking questions and trying to get help.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. And I mean, Debbie is kind of like, you know, she's...
Nobody should have any issues with that lady. That lady is a saint. Everyone should blame and hate on me.
I'm not saying anything about it.
Everyone needs to blame me, Brooke.
I'm saying... at the end of the day, when you got through all of the list of people that you thought you could get to call, you got to Debbie and she agreed, correct?
Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah, just Sorry. Yes or no. And hello to all my friends that I haven't seen so long coming in here. Mari, Jen, Sarah, I've seen you, but good to see you. All of our OG little group.
Look, if John's
amazing to see you guys. What?
John's people want to come after me. I'm the one that filed paperwork. I'm the one that tried to stop him. I thought someone was, you know, I thought something was going to happen to somebody. I was trying to stop it. I was trying to save people's lives. I thought he was going to come for my family. My address is public record.
Well, I mean, what do you think he knows about all of us? I mean,
Brooke, the only person that gentleman needs to come after is me, because at the end of the day, I was the one legally and lawfully trying to take him off the street to try and stop anybody being hurt. It's 100% my fault, and I take total responsibility. And at the end of the day, he's got no right to be attacking or going after any lady in their family, because at the end of the day, the responsibility is mine and mine alone, and 110% nothing to do with Maria, nothing at all. Maria's told me earlier that she's going to block me today. We're not going to speak again, which I deserve. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is how this is crumbling down.
I expect you to do the same.
So Maria wakes up in the morning, and all of our friends are doxxed to shit and threatened and everything else. So you got Maria waking up in the morning, and this all falls on her shoulders because she's been trying to keep people from coming after you for this, even though she had nothing to do with it.
And I respect that, and I didn't deserve it.
She's been,
Maria's been one of the best friends anybody could have ever had in their life, and now that's over, and it's my fault, okay? And I have to live with it, and I deserve to live with it, okay? And but 100%, she said she couldn't, wouldn't, would never do it. Go to hell, Paul, no way, don't even ask. And at the end of the day, however messed up and however broken and how mentally whatever I was, because at the end of the day, these people have been branding me a child molester everywhere. I was in a hell of a state. It does not excuse what I did. I should never have asked anybody, okay? And the fault is mine, Brooke. And I'm here to own it.
And thank you for owning it. Well, Ida's here, and that was Ida's the one, or Sweet. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I don't know this lady. Who's the lady on the panel? I don't know her. Sorry.
This is the lady.
Yeah, the lady that was doxxed last night because of you.
Okay.
I am highly upset, and please allow me to speak, Paul.
Yes, Mom.
I am highly upset at you because of the fact that for 2 weeks we have been dragged through the mud because of you. And we had nothing to do with this.
No, you didn't.
And to be honest, I don't care about your mental health because you haven't been dragged like we have. 2 or 3 side comments that they have made about you is nothing compared to what we have gone through. So you were the one who caused all this mess. And because of that, my husband has been dragged into this. I have been dragged in the chat. I have been called names, and I have done absolutely nothing. You were the one who caused all this mess. And for 2 weeks, you have been silent, working in the background, talking to everybody, spreading your screenshots, and just causing havoc, and just by staying quiet, allowing us to be dragged when you fully knew it was all you. And you owe not only me, but you owe all of us a huge apology because of what you did.
May I address your point, Mom?
Yes.
Every word you've said is true and accurate, and I accept it in full. I would like to publicly reiterate a sincere and heartfelt apology from the bottom of my heart to you and your husband and your family. My wife is of a similar culture, and I am so sorry for everything that you've been through. It's my fault, and I am so sorry, and I don't expect you ever to forgive me, and I don't want you to forgive me, okay?
Oh, I won't.
From the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry, and it was never my intention whatsoever to try and do some kind of fire and forget strategy to leave other people accountable for my own actions. And if that is the perception, that again is my fault. And to your other point, Mom, what I was going to say is I deeply and totally apologize to everybody else who has been affected and impacted. I was scared to death for my own family. It's not an excuse. I'm just trying to own it. I was scared to death for my own family. I was scared to death that something was going to happen to somebody. And I didn't
Okay,
want
I
anybody to
understand
I
that you.
didn't want anybody to get hurt, and I'm so sorry to you on a personal level, and I'm deeply sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so you say that you were afraid for your own life and your family,
I
but
was.
you let 5 to 7 women getting dragged,
That was
getting
never.
death threats, Paul,
That was never
and
my
you
intention.
said
That was
nothing.
that was never my intention, and I was getting triggered and threatened and everything else, and I was getting driven out of my mind. Just to your previous point, Mom. Okay, just as a point of record, I'd been attacked for over 2 years, and that is the God's honest truth.
So I understand if you have been dragged and, persecuted and all this stuff, but
It doesn't
you
condone.
knew for
It
two
doesn't condone
weeks,
what it did.
you knew for 2 weeks that they have been dragging us and you did absolutely nothing.
I wish
That
I
is
had some.
unforgivable. I'm
If I
sorry, I'm
could,
speaking.
I apologize,
That is
Mom.
unforgivable what you did. And if you have been dragged, if you were feeling scared for your life and your family, you're overseas, Paul. We're in the United States. We had a bigger threat. You did it. All you had to do was disconnect. Nobody's going to fly overseas to kick your ass or do something to you. And I'm sorry, Brooke, I cussed. But
Yeah, we do not cuss on this channel, sweet.
Could
So
I
you're
could
really,
I
you're
address
yes,
that,
you're
so,
please,
really out of
Mom?
but
line.
that's
I'm
the
just
point,
kidding.
Paul. It's like
I'm just kidding.
you're saying, and I am upset because you're turning this all on you, and it's
I'm
not
not.
you.
I'm
You
not. I'm not.
affected a lot of people. You have affected Maria, and I love Maria. I love my Brooke. I love all my group chat. They're my friends, and having them being dragged because of you and you staying quiet and you're saying that you're having breakdowns and you're scared for your life.
I
What
was.
about us, Paul? You never
This is
thought.
this is what
You
I'm
never
coming.
thought. And I thought you were this counselor. Wouldn't you
Could I
think about other people
can I
instead
can
of
I
what you were going through?
can I reply to your point, because you're right.
Yes.
Again, everything you've said is true and accurate and right, and I own it. Now, at the end of the day, I should have. At the end of the day, whatever was done to me in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, I should have. I should have been able to see past all my own fears. The fact that I was sent a bomb threat, the fact that everything that was done to me and all the accusations. Yeah, I should have seen through all of it, been able to handle it better. You are 100% right, and absolutely, irrespective whether my tolerance is lower than yours. At the end of the day, the fact that you are in America and I'm not, absolutely, your overall threat is higher, and you're 100% right, and that makes my fears, weakness, anxieties, trauma, whatever you want to call it, it makes it all the more worse, because
Paul,
I got triggered and cracked and fell to pieces because of things that have happened that stopped me coming forward. And you are completely right, Mom. And I can only apologize to you and everybody else that I wasn't the person that I should be. And it's a
okay,
damning reaction.
let me ask you something. How is this so? Why is this? Okay, I know you're aware by now that whenever y'all dropped off my live, or I ended my live and went to sleep the other night, that UNTL were backstage having a conversation, and that conversation was presented on Heidi Black's channel. And that
I didn't know.
conversation, you didn't say really much about. I mean, I didn't hear quite all of it, but the part that really sticks out to me, like Heidi just said, is you said you were doing this out of spite, out of revenge. Like, those were the words you were using privately, or so you thought, with TL. So, I mean, while I understand, because we
Can I address
lived
that,
it,
Brooke? Can I address that?
let me finish. While we've all lived it here on the continental U.S., where we are all driving distance from this lunatic, I'm just not quite buying this fear versus, and it's okay. You know what? Right here, right now, at this time, you should just be as open as possible. If you hate the motherfucker and that's why you did it, you know how many things that we've done out of hatred that were mistakes that we've had to sit and own in this community? It's nothing new. You won't be the first or the last. So if it was done for those selfish reasons, just say so. Because
can I answer your point?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not trying to interrupt anybody, by the way. I'm really not. If I've used those words, I have to own it and I have to accept it. If I've used those words, they're the wrong words, and I'm better than that. But at the end of the day, was I angry? Yeah. Was I upset because of what he and his associates have been doing to me and the stuff that I've been accused of and the stuff that I've been called? And did I want, out of anger or whatever the right word was, that the gentleman be punished for the horrible and disgusting things he'd been doing and I've been hearing about and it had been building up? Then absolutely. And at the end of the day, you know, was I angry? Was I upset? And did I want, or did some part of me, you know, want some kind of revenge, payback, spite, whatever you want to say that I said? And I don't dispute using the terminology, because God knows, I would hope that you know how much I respect Heidi, and I always have.
Okay, well, are you aware that Debbie has like a chronic intermittent? I don't know if it's chronic, like it's not continuous, but it's an intermittent form of dementia called like sundowners. Usually, a lot of times it happens at certain times of the day, hence the name. Do you understand that Debbie sometimes is a very easily influenced individual, and is that why you went to Debbie?
No, that wasn't why I went to Debbie. I was.
So,
can I? Mom, sorry. Who?
no, go ahead.
Sorry, Mom. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to yourself. Brooke asked me a very fair, reasonable question. Okay. I went to a number of people, and I should never have gone to anybody at all, ever. Okay. There's no excuse for it. I wanted to get traction with Seaside Heights. I was terrified. And again, you know, if you want to say I'm pathetic, I'm weak, I'm whatever. I wanted traction on the paperwork that I put in. I was desperate. I was panicking. I was scared for my family. The fact that I'm in the UK, you know, the rationale, to come back to the lady's point, Brooke, previously, at the end of the day, with the size of those social media accounts and the presence and the attacks that I've been under, I didn't feel safe anywhere. And I know that's not meant as an excuse. It's meant to give you an honest answer. I didn't feel safe anywhere. I could have been at the North Pole. I would have still felt scared to death. And that's just trying to be honest with you. And in terms of every single person I asked for help, I was out of my mind. I was desperate. I was panicking. I had my LinkedIn profile docs with TikTok on it. I had them calling me. You know, I had this child molester stuff being thrown at me that people had started 2 years ago. And it just tipped me over the edge, completely tipped me over the edge. I might be useless at many things, but I'm damn good father to my daughter. Okay, so the bottom line of it is, I got tipped over the edge. I asked people, and if the question is, did I specifically ask someone who I considered a dear friend with knowledge of foresight that the lady? No. I was desperate. I would have asked at that point in time, Brooke, to answer your question. I'd have asked 100 people, because at the end of the day, I just wanted everything to stop, and I thought someone was going to get hurt or worse. And if I had to go to another 100 people with the mindset that I was in, I probably would have done it, because I was out of my mind. And I hope that answers your question.
Can I ask you a question, Paul?
Yes, Mom.
So I want you to walk me through the process that you did Brooke is gone. It's our show now. I want you to walk me through the process of what you did. So you filled out an IC3 form, correct?
Yeah. Could I just add one more thing in, Mom, because I think it's relevant?
Yes.
Brooke made a very valid point, okay? I shouldn't say this because it's going to come back on me.
I'm sorry, I missed the last, I don't know, 3 minutes of what you
There's
said because I
members.
wasn't hearing anything.
There's members of my immediate family that suffer from dementia. So the thought that I would ever seek to prey or weaponize or exploit somebody, respectfully, I would never do that, because it would be it's against everything. It's against everything, all my values. All right.
But did you know that she had it before you asked her, even though you didn't do it for that reason? You knew that she had dementia, right?
It had been mentioned to me in passing, and I must have put it out of my mind, because at the end of the day, the state that I was in, I should never have gone near anybody, let alone someone with such underlying personal characteristics, and that shame will go with me to my grave. Okay. Because I am responsible. I take full ownership for everything that's been done to this poor lady and everybody else, and I am so sorry, and the shame and guilt with me will go to my grave. And if John Yates wants to go after somebody and hold somebody responsible, it's my fault. I thought something was going to happen to somebody, and I tried to stop it, and I shouldn't have done it. I didn't ask anybody to do anything for my dirty work. I spoke to people out of desperation and fear, and I shouldn't have spoke to anybody, let alone, and if I knew it got put out of my mind, okay, and that's me trying to own it and take responsibility. All right? I'm not this evil monster that goes around targeting people with these kind of afflictions.
You're breaking up, Brooke. So, okay, so let's go back to, walk me through it. You filled out the IC3 form, and then what happened next?
I put again, the background, okay? I filled the form in, I made a submission with my full name on, my address details and everything, with the sole intention at that time, because obviously it's accessible under FOIA, all my personal information, to try to, remediate a perceived threat to me and my family, with the hope maybe afterwards that potentially other people might be safe and protected as well, because I thought something was going to happen to somebody. I genuinely did. I saw.
So when did you fill out this IC3 form? When did you fill it out?
I don't recall the specific date that's on the document, but for the sake of argument, sometime must have been within the last 10, 14 days, Mom, something of that order.
Okay, so then after you filled it out, how did it come about you wanting to call? You wanted to call Seaside.
Yes,
how
Mom.
Did you come about calling Seaside after filling out the IC3 form?
Okay, I put the paperwork in, as I said, around that time frame. And at the end of the day, with these kind of things, I won't say a lottery, that's the wrong word, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of value judgments regarding internet beef, internet drama, and you don't know which desk it's going to land on. So this thing had been in for, I don't know, maybe a week or anything else. And obviously in that time frame, to answer you, it was just more and more and more and more, all the comments and everything else, and I just got to the point where this thing had gone up with my LinkedIn profile, with TikTok on it, the stuff trying to infer that I'm something that I'm not. And that was the tipping point, to answer your question directly, Mom.
So then, you, by looking at his lives, you knew that he was going to Florida. So how did you come up with a plan to call Florida, to call for the warrant? How did you come up with that?
Obviously he was on his way down there. Anyway, the point with the matter was to try and get information. I did amendments onto the IC3 forms on the pretext that you know, that he could get picked up, they could get picked up, whatever, just for it to stop, for no one to get hurt. I was scared that people were going to get hurt.
Okay, I understand that, but then
there was 2 amendments on the I-33, Mom.
So then the thing is, he wouldn't have gotten picked up. He wouldn't have any issues. It was his husband. It didn't have anything to do with him. So you're not hurting the person that supposedly has been harassing you for 2 years. And I'm not defending him, but I'm just putting it out there.
And I have another thing to say before you respond, Paul. Before you respond, if you were so scared we were going to get hurt, but you sat back and let us get threatened night after night. And,
no, that's not Brooke.
Brooke. You don't think that that's exactly how people get hurt? Giving people's full names and addresses and everywhere. This doesn't make sense.
Well, can I answer your question, please, Brooke?
Go on.
Because again, it's a valid point, okay? And looking back with the benefit of hindsight, that would be never something that I would choose to do deliberately and purposefully.
But you did, though.
No, may I answer the point, Mom? What ultimately happened as a consequence of a paralysis of fear, as a paralysis of sheer terror on my part. It wasn't a deliberate choice. It was just a complete and total paralysis of fear, which is worse actually than what you're saying. And at the end of the day, to come to your other point, Mom, at the end of the day, my understanding was, probably wrongly, that there might ultimately be other bits and pieces on the name of the gentleman who had been targeting me. And ultimately it was anyway. Just so wanted everything to stop, and I thought people were going to get hurt, and I wanted everything to stop.
Okay, but that wasn't the thing. Is that it was revenge. You wanted to hurt like you were hurting. And I don't know, you're supposedly this counselor. Why would you even do that? I mean, I'm trying, and I know Sarah said that I have the patience of a saint, but what you did was horrible.
Can I answer your point there, please?
No, one moment. Let me finish. And the thing is, what you did was horrible. We can have internet beefs. We can fight with each other. We can cuss each other out. But what you did was terrible. We would have never, ever even thought of doing something like that. So it's this big snowball effect that you caused. And now he's out for revenge on everybody because of what you have done to him. What we have with him is something different. What you want to do is on you. And I don't understand, because you say you have all these certificates, you're a counselor, you're this. Why would you even think of doing something like this? And since the first time 2 years ago that I heard you, I have been advocating to everybody, please block Paul. Please delete him. He is dangerous.
And you were still talking this morning, Paul, that Cody's mom should be arrested for obstruction.
I was venting earlier on, Brooke, and I shouldn't have.
Don't interrupt me. You said earlier.
I was venting, Brooke. I was upset. I was traumatized. I should never have said it.
Me. You said Cody's mom should be arrested for obstruction. You're still
I said it, and I regretted it the second I said it.
Exactly. I mean,
those kinds of
how much more are you going to say? It's ridiculous what you're doing.
I regretted it the moment I said it.
You're involving family members, sick family members.
Never
This
mind.
is disgusting what you're doing. And we are getting blamed for it. I would suggest you stop with this. Already, you have, it's not even a target that you have on your back right now. You're going to be
He
dragged.
never did have a target.
But now he does. Now he definitely does. But I just want to say that what you did was disgusting. It is unforgivable. And I understand that you say you have your traumas, your anxiety, your fear, your family, but you never thought about anybody else but yourself. You never thought about anybody else but yourself. And that's all I have to say.
Well,
Brooke, am I allowed to? Am I allowed to speak on anything, please?
You don't have to keep asking for permission, Paul. I know that might be kind of what y'all do over there, but just I don't want to have to keep answering because I'm muting, so everybody can hear everybody, and I don't want to have to keep unmuting to mute. Anyway, go ahead. Yes, respond, but don't make it long-winded and topsy-turvy, because I mean the bottom line is, I mean, you asked all these people to call for you, nobody would. You're over there busy filling out IC3 forms, and when those don't work fast enough, then you want to recruit somebody to call for you, and everybody. You picked the people that hate John the most, and everybody said no. You went to Debbie, who is a vulnerable woman, whether you want to admit it or not. You got her to do this.
No, Brooke, hang on a second, all right, please. It was an uncoordinated scattergun approach, all right? Not making excuses. And at the end of the day, I own what I've done. I've used inappropriate language, inappropriate terminology, including today, that is beneath me, to the lady's point, especially with any training that I may or may not have. Absolutely, it's beneath me. Absolutely, it's not something I should do. And it makes it worse with the background that I may or may not have. The lady is 100% correct. And whilst, you know, bearing in mind this is probably the last time this lady and I will ever speak, deservedly so because of me, I deeply and sincerely apologise again. And anybody like your good self has the right to hate me for the rest of your life.
Okay, we're not talking about love, hate, or
I mean,
I want to say one more thing.
To,
everybody's asking. I mean, I think we went through. So you asked, just to clarify.
I'm trying to apologize to the lady, Brooke.
Phil, Bambi, Maria, Amzie. Who else? Phil, Bambi, Maria, and they all told you no. Who else?
Maria said, "Hell no, won't do it."
Was there anybody else that you asked that would exonerate their want? I mean, I'm not going to do anything bad for them. It's just going to prove that they said no. So is there anybody else?
Not off the top of my head, no. But like I said, the key thing is that at the end of the day, you know, I accept what's coming. I take total risk.
Oh, sorry, Maria.
I'll never be in any chats anywhere again. So.
Hold on. Oh, did you ask SoFlo? And he said no?
That's correct, yeah. And I've just offered to hand my wrench back.
How do I make a comment? I'm trying to, hold on, post comment.
But Mom, I don't expect any forgiveness, and nor do I deserve anybody. I've used inappropriate language. I've made completely wrong decisions. I deeply apologise to you and your family.
You should be making an apology too to the other people that you hurt too.
Well, Mom, you're on the panel.
Not only me, not only my friends, but you have to apologize.
Mom, I will do that individually.
And to Cody as well. And I'm not sticking up for them, but what
absolutely, and I will do that. Mom, I would do that individually, and I would do that collectively. And I'm doing it now because obviously you're on the panel. Anybody that wants me to apologise to them individually or collectively, if Brooke wants me to do a collective blanket apology now, it's Brooke's channel, and I'll respect what she wants me to do. But absolutely, I would sincerely and deeply apologise to everybody and anybody that's been hurt by me, including Cody, including anybody else. I take accountability for my actions, and like I said, everybody should block me.
Hello, Paul. It's Jennifer Positivity.
Good
You
evening,
need
Mark.
to stop lying. Okay?
Haven't
I'm
lied once.
very happy that you're finally taking accountability, but they have not been going after you for 2 years, my friend. They did not know you were eating online until they got our group chat, when we were all complaining that you were trying to put Anne and Maria into your bullshit, because you were constantly in Jen's ear. And as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the reason why Jen is as bad as she is, but that's another subject.
I 100% agree, Jennifer. He was the one who
Okay?
drove to do that.
Any therapist would not be doing what they are doing right now. And as for them bringing up CP towards you, that was not done until after you made the call. So don't say it was. Every once in a blue moon, and I hate having to defend these people, but right is right. Every once in a blue moon, Jules would say the fish. She barely said your name, but once they started seeing our chat and seeing us talking about what you were saying to Maria and Anne and trying to get them involved in, that's when your name started coming up. But for you to go and make those calls, or sorry, you didn't make them because you weren't man enough. You were man enough to go and get the FBI after Jules, but not John. Please tell me. You're sitting here, you're complaining that John goes after women, okay? But you just had a woman go after John, and you're a man and went after Jules. So tell me what the difference is, please.
Am I allowed to respond to those points, please?
I just paused so you could.
Is that okay with yourself, Brooke?
She just told you don't have to ask.
You don't have to ask. And hey, Jen.
Hi, Brookie. You're no victim, Paul, so just speak.
I'm trying to respond to your points, Mom. Okay. There's a number of points been raised, okay? And no, I'm not a victim. Okay? And first things first, not that it has any value, I would like to apologise to you. I don't expect it to be accepted, but I would like to apologise. It's the right thing to do to yourself. And to your previous point, if I may, I had been hit with a lot of this NAMBLA crap going back a very long time. It scarred me to my soul. That's not an excuse, nor is it a defence. It's just a point of objectivity. I had been under a lot of sustained attack for a long period of time by a number of the associated acolytes, including the lady that you mentioned, and ultimately it had a cumulative impact. So
okay, to that, let me just answer that. To that, I'm not denying that she didn't go after you. That was a few years ago. Okay, you fell off, to her knowledge, you fell off the face of the earth. She stopped discussing you. She was on to Brooke. It was all about Brooke. It wasn't about the fish, or sorry, Paul.
Am I allowed?
It had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with you until our chat.
Can I respond to your point on Jen, please?
Go ahead.
Jen's someone I cared about a great deal as a friend. I've known her a long time. It's someone that
if you cared about that girl, you would not have been sitting online. No, stop. No, stop. Stop right there. Because if you are a medical professional, as you state you are, okay, you would not have been sitting online with that woman, going over every single damn live. So don't tell me you're a medical professional.
I haven't.
And if you are, I'm sorry, you need to lose your credentials. Because nobody would advise to do that to anybody that is mentally ill.
Can I come back to your point? Can I address your point?
Go ahead.
Please?
Sorry, I don't want to yell. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to mute for a minute. Go ahead.
All I tried to do, and again, I'm not trying to assuage any animosity, anger, and how you feel about me, and I'm not. From my perspective, all I ever tried to do was to be a caring friend, give her someone to listen to that genuinely wanted the best for her, up until the point where ultimately, you know, behaviors and whatever else just became too much. You know what my mistake was? I should have listened to people and not tried in the first place. And that again is on me. And I'm sorry that you and many other people feel that I made her worse or whatever. All I ever tried to do was to be a caring friend and give her somebody to listen to, not in a professional capacity, but as a friend only. And if you feel that I made her worse, I deeply apologize to you and her as well.
What in what world you knew what she was like? Okay, you've been friends, you state, for years with her.
I was.
Okay,
I was.
And you know she has an addiction to the internet. And that is her biggest issue. She gets addicted and her mental health just goes downhill.
I know.
Okay. But in what world, sorry, stop, please. In what world would you say, let's sit on the phone and let's watch everybody's lives and critique them? Please tell me. And do not say you did not do that. Okay? Because you've said it yourself. You've done that. And I know a lot. Stop. I know a lot more than you think I know. And I won't say it on here because it's quite awful.
I was her friend.
That is not a friend.
I'm trying to answer your question, Mom.
Okay, go ahead.
I was her friend. I was trying to be a positive influence in her life. Clearly and respectfully, you feel very differently like many other people. I wanted the best for her. I wanted to make good decisions. And yeah, obviously, one of the questions would be, who's on live and whatever, and can I watch and whatever. And if you want to hold me accountable and responsible for, I haven't had any contact with her for over a month. So if you think that I've made her worse, I can't. It would be wrong of me.
I certainly don't think. Listen, Jen is also responsible. I don't think you're the only one that has made her that way. She has to be responsible for herself. But you yourself have told everybody. You took the position as her therapist.
I was never a therapist.
No. You have told. No, do not even go there, Paul. You were having therapy sessions. That is exactly what you called it. If you would have said we were just being friends and did that, I mean, I still don't consider that being a friend, but I wouldn't have been as harsh. But when you consider that you were considering that as therapy sessions, I'm sorry, that's not a therapy session. How about teaching her to stay offline?
I would never consider watching a live with her as a therapy session. You're right. Have I sat and watched things with her? Have I tried to speak to her to try and help her and be therapeutic? Yeah, I have. I've tried to tell her separately, and to answer your point, I've tried to be a good supportive friend, whatever the right word is, and I'm using all the wrong words clearly. I've tried to help her make good decisions in her life up until about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And clearly I was the wrong person.
Paul.
Okay, you know what? We're got way off topic here because it should never have come to Jen. Let's get on to this.
You were the
I'm
catalyst.
just trying to show the type of person you are. But
you're just the catalyst. You were the one.
Speak about what you did
in her downfall, in what happened to her. You fueled her. You did not help her. But let's stick to the other subject. So
exactly,
you filled out the I-3 form. You found out that they were going to Florida. So how did you find the address? And who called?
Like, what
And
did you
where
think?
did
Did you
they call?
think John was going to go and swim across the freaking pond? Do you think his subs are going to pay for him to go across to see you? What can he do to you? He was saying
Brooke,
he's in Florida. How many of these ladies live in Florida? He was saying he was going to put bullets in their head and cut their brakes. Okay. And even I'm in Canada. He can still drive to me. He can't do nothing to you. You're a
Brooke,
therapist. The first thing a therapist is going to tell you, get offline. Where's your coping skills, Paul?
which lady would you like me to respond to, please?
Both of us.
Brooke is muted because it's raining and it's really loud. So you go ahead. You respond to whoever you
We'll
wish.
let you speak.
We'll let you speak.
Which of you ladies would you like me to respond to?
Respond to Sweets first, please. We'd like to know how you got that.
I want to know how, and don't be long-winded. Just go straight to the point, Paul, please. We don't have all day.
Yeah, we don't want no mumble jumble. Just spit it out. Facts.
Just spit it out. How did you get the address, and where did you call? What number did you give for them to call? For her to call?
So to the best of my recollection, that was an address that had been shared and doxed a long time ago. I had it, and ultimately, again, I was out of my mind with everything. Everything I've said. I made bad decisions. I made bad choices. It's my responsibility. I own all of it. All right. And in terms of obviously their phone numbers, I had their phone numbers.
No, I'm talking about the police, because apparently it wasn't called to the correct police department. It was called to another department, to another police department.
I didn't know.
In another county. So
I haven't. Also, can I also add really quick that not only did you watch and sit back and let everybody fumble around, you knew exactly where the police call went. Nobody spoke up. It had to be found by everybody wanting to get to the bottom of it, which was Maria and all of us, as well as John and all of them.
Yeah. Look at the first live you went on with Brooke. Everybody was saying it was Maria and SoFlo, and you sat there and you hemmed and hawed. So that's alluding to the fact that it was them. It wasn't until you had a conversation with Terry.
I was ill on the first live.
And they want to know too, because supposedly there was a second call to the police. Were you involved in that second call to the police?
I wasn't involved in calls to the police. I put everything in, and at the end of the day, my understanding was it was, through the FBI. I haven't spoken to any police in Florida. I was out of my mind. I just wanted everything to stop. I didn't want anybody to get hurt. Anybody, especially the women in Florida.
We get that. Yeah, we understand that.
Did they show up more than once? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Do you accept that as honest and true, that I didn't want anybody to get hurt?
Did they show up more than once?
But we did, but whatever.
I want all these women that were being attacked and threatened, if you want to say that I've got some kind of misguided savior complex, and I was trying to... The bottom line of it, I didn't want anybody to get hurt or worse, all right? And obviously I was out of my mind with my own family, with everything else, all right?
So then, by your logic, you didn't want anybody to get hurt, but we have been dragged for filth for 2 weeks, and I was doxxed. Excuse me, Paul, excuse me. I haven't raised my voice.
Sorry, it wasn't my intention, Mom.
We have been dragged for 2 weeks. My husband has been dragged. I have been dragged. I was doxxed, but you didn't want to hurt anybody? Make sense, please.
No, there's two separate points, Mom.
No, it's not.
No,
come on, stop this. I mean, can you speak, just because you have an accent and you can talk rings around us doesn't mean. Just tell the truth. My goodness.
The point.
You're
No,
just.
your point.
I can't with him. I can't. I'm gonna get
Paul,
upset.
Paul, your logic is you didn't want anybody to get hurt. But the
No,
truth of the matter is, no, stop. The truth of the matter is, you didn't want to get hurt. You were afraid. You didn't want to be drugged by John and everybody.
both were
That's the
true.
truth of the matter. And you
Both
didn't
were
want
true.
Debbie to.
Both were
You
true.
didn't want.
I didn't want any. I was terrified of my own family getting hurt, and I was scared to death something was going to happen
Yeah.
to somebody else.
So
You did
let's
the
be
complete
honest.
opposite.
So
You put all of the other ladies in danger by your actions.
You know, so screw
At the
me,
end of the-
screw my
Yeah.
family. Fuck you, Paul. I'm sorry. Fuck you. Because you're worried about your family overseas.
I'm agreeing with you.
Fuck me and my family.
I was terrified
No,
that everything else was going to get hurt, including your
Okay,
family.
now you're getting Puerto Rican sweets. Fuck you for what you did. You need to apologize to
I am
everybody,
apologising to you,
and you
Mum. And at
need
the
to
end of the
stop
day,
it. You need to stop it. I am done with this bullshit with you. Stop talking in circles.
I was agreeing with
You're
you.
not making any sense.
None of us have asked you to step up and be our hero.
No, you didn't.
We are adults. We can handle ourselves. If we think we need to get the law involved, we'll do it our goddamn selves. Okay? Because everything starts with you doing it behind the damn scenes. Okay? And
And you're
because
right.
you did it, you went and you weren't even a freaking man to do it yourself. You went after little old ladies to try and start shit. Okay? And how many weeks has this been? And it wasn't until everybody's been on your goddamn ass for you to finally admit it. So stop the damn bullshit.
I
Right
know.
now.
Just come clean. Everybody knows already. Just speak.
I'm sick of your prim and proper
Straight.
bullshit because you're not prim and proper.
Exactly. Just stop. You did it. Tell us exactly how you did it without all the other bullshit. Because, like I said, we have been dragged and it's all your fault.
Exactly. And you know what? We take the dragging for our group chat. That's all our doing. Okay. But this bullshit with the fucking cops. Oh, God, I can't stop swearing. I'm so sorry. This is all you. This has nothing to do with us. Okay?
Exactly. This is all on you. So stop saying that you were scared, you were this, you were that. You're over.
And if you're so damn traumatized, log
Get
the
off the
freak off.
fucking internet. How about that? Get off.
I mean, you're overseas and you're still online 24/7. You're so worried about your wife and your children. You're not even with them. And I hate to bring up family. Believe me, I hate it. But you keep saying you're so worried about them, Paul.
Was there a second police visit, Paul?
Actually, yeah, I'd like to know that too.
Which of the points do you want me to address?
All of them. Answer one by one. Stop asking. Just answer. For the
And
love of
spit it the
God.
freak out. Like, we don't have all day. We're interrupting because you take these pauses and then you try to be prim and proper. This isn't the time. Just answer the damn questions. We're not having high tea, for Christ's sakes.
To Sweet's first point, I reiterate an apology to her. I reiterate to Jennifer, and I reiterate to yourself, Volt, as well. Okay, I know that's never going to count for anything, but I apologise. And to your point, at the end of the day, nobody appointed me as Lord and Saviour and overall protector. That was an overstep. It was wrong. It was stupid. I own it. I take responsibility. And absolutely every single woman on this panel is stronger than me. And at the end of the day, me being paralysed by fear and trauma, and whatever you want to call it, is absolutely no excuse for not putting myself forward sooner. You're right.
So you were worried. You didn't want people to get hurt, but you sat back and listened to this guy talk about shooting people between the eyes, throwing bricks through the window, all of this, and you didn't think, oh shit, this is getting a little bit too escalated. Let me come forward. No,
Right.
instead you lied. So
No,
I would
Instead,
really
he's
like
still in the DMs to all of the other women and still trying to conspire.
and you're
And then
telling
I
me
just heard Brooks say that he's still saying that Cody's mother.
that's what I was
Like,
just
I
gonna
made a
come
ask.
slip.
on,
I made
buddy,
a slip
grow
this
the
morning.
freak up.
That is
I
not
made a slip this morning. I retracted it straight away.
That is disgusting. Because
It
if
was.
you're
I
in,
shouldn't have done it. It was a throwaway comment I made, and I regretted it 2 seconds
that is
afterwards.
not. Don't
You
be
make a lot of throwaway comments.
That
And
is
it's a
that is
damning
Yeah, maybe you need to
impact.
just close your mouth, sew it shut, something.
You're
that
right,
is
and I shouldn't have done it, and I apologize.
disrespectful for you to say that was a throwaway comment. Be
It was at the
respectful
time, and I'm
for
sorry, and I
sick
regret it.
women.
But that
Be
time was this
respectful.
morning. It was this morning.
Ladies, I'm agreeing with you, and I apologize to Cody. I apologize to his mother. I apologize to everyone. Okay, I'm sorry. I own it. It was a throwaway thing. I regretted it 2 seconds afterwards. I hadn't slept.
Okay. Now,
Right.
did the cops go there more than once? Did they go twice?
I don't
Answer
know.
that.
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I don't know.
Did you not follow up? Did they follow up with you?
No.
How did you make the call? Did you do Crime Stoppers? Did you call the station? Like, spit it out. Because they're obviously not finding the information. And I don't know what it's like in the States, but I know in Canada, if you call Crime Stoppers, there's not really records
Oh,
for it.
no. It
No,
was found.
there's
They found it. It's found. But I
Oh,
have
did they?
also, yeah, I have.
Mhm.
I just
Oh,
saw it on
good.
John's community tab. But also, please note, I needed to mention all this. This all came about. This wasn't John's posting on his community tab. We better come up with some. No, this has been planned since this morning, because since early this morning, Maria's been on her phone as well with the same exact person communicating with John, trying to get to the bottom of this shit. And when we figured out that when she got an email confirming that there was an officer, then that's when we're like, well, where the fuck did it come from? And John somehow was able to figure it out, that where it came from. But my question is, simple, point blank, yes or no. Did you tell Debbie to call anonymous and she called in there anonymously? Yes or no?
No.
So who called anonymous, Paul? Because you know who did it.
I didn't know there was anything about anonymous calls.
Oh my God.
I'm just trying to I'm trying to give you an honest question. This is the first I've heard about an anonymous call.
Okay, so let's back this up a little bit. You're trying to tell us you put in an IC. No, I'm still talking. I don't feel like yelling. You're trying to tell us you called an FBI, you did all of this stuff, you got Debbie to do all of this stuff.
I put my forms
back it up. But John, I'm going to tell you right now, John is posting a report that a call was made into the police department anonymously on that very same day. And they transferred it to the sheriff's department on that very same day. So, Paul, I suggest you start telling the truth.
I have done. I didn't. It wasn't.
No, you're
me.
lying.
I didn't know anything about it until just now. And at the end of the day, if he wants to come after somebody, he comes after me. This is the first I've heard about it. That's your honest answer.
Then how
Well,
is Debbie
sadly, the
involved?
damage is already done. Like, this is what you should have did the first day that you were asked about it. I mean, to be honest, it should never even been done.
I agree
and if
with
it
you,
was going to
Jennifer.
be done, you should have not have been in everybody's texts and asked them to do it. You should have been a freaking man and did it yourself.
You are completely right. You're completely right.
But you know what? But listen, Paul, how many years has it been? You've done the same shit over and over. You apologize. And guess what? Then you do it again. Then you say sorry. I feel like I'm dealing with a 6-year-old kid.
And I'll never be seen or heard from again, okay?
Oh, God.
I'll believe that when I see it. You'll hide in the background. You'll find new people.
I won't.
Like, honestly.
I won't. At the end of the day, I'm going to take my guilt and my shame with me for the rest of my life. And at the end of the day,
okay, play the victim card, Paul. Play the victim card. Meanwhile, you have all of these ladies that you just put in danger.
Of course,
you are no victim, so stop
I'm
sitting
not
there
trying to be a
saying
victim. I'm not trying to be a victim.
well, guess what? You're insinuating it. You are no damn
I'm not
victim, so
trying to.
do not insinuate it.
Jennifer, I'm trying to take responsibility.
That's not responsibility.
I take responsibility for my actions, and I extricate myself away from everybody.
That's narcissistic behavior.
Well,
Oh,
That
big
really
time.
fucking. That really is.
Nobody wants anything to do with me, and rightfully so.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Narcissist.
I'm not a
Poor
Nar-
Kitty
narcissist.
Paul.
Hell no, I don't want Paul. That is not
No,
cool.
we
When
never
you
wanted
say-
anything to do with you.
When you say,
Which one?
yeah,
I'm
when
not
you say,
giving-
like,
I'm-
when nobody's asking you to do stuff,
I
and
feel
you're
like I
doing
need to
it,
go and run and get his soother and his blankie. Like, come on, dude.
I
you're
thought
doing
the
it because
I
you
thought
know
the
that
appropriate.
you're not
I
on the
thought
front
the-
lines of this. Is why
I thought
you're
the
doing it.
given and respecting everything that I've said and everything that I've done is the respectful thing to yourselves, not to be just to be gone, and then deal with the
Well,
consequences.
that's great if you leave now. That's great. But you know the damage you just caused. And you continue to cause for how many years?
Prior, you said
I have
everything
to
on
own that. I have to own that over time privately, don't I? That's on me.
Okay, but like I said, my biggest question, Paul, is how come you had the balls to go after Jules with a woman with the FBI, but when it came to a man with the FBI, you had to get older women to do it?
I filed on him myself.
Okay, so the police, you had to get older women to do it.
I didn't ask anybody to do an anonymous call into Florida. No, I didn't. This is the first I've
You
heard
weren't
about
in people's DMs. Hang on, you weren't in people's DMs asking them to make a call?
I needed somebody to help me get a call into Seaside so I could speak to Seaside myself. This is the first I've heard about
you do it?
Sorry?
So how did Seaside become Florida?
And Paul,
How did John
they-
become
they-
Cody?
The jig
Florida.
is up.
I
Like,
just-
we
I
know
wanted to
that.
None of this makes sense.
Doesn't
So
make
you
sense
could
to me, and
call-
I'm responsible.
You could call Florida, but you couldn't call Seaside? I'm not understanding.
I needed help to speak to Seaside and Seaside only. I didn't know anybody had hung a call into there for me. And if I'd
So
known
you
about
don't
it,
know how to pick up a damn phone and call yourself?
I'm not allowed to make international calls. That was the problem.
So you know a such thing as a Google? You're supposed to be intelligent, right? You've got all of these degrees, all of these certificates, but you can't figure out how to make an international call. I'm not buying it.
Paul, who called Florida police? That's what we want to know. Just answer it. Who called?
I didn't know anything about an anonymous call, and no, I don't know as it sits at the moment. This is the first I've heard about it.
Okay, well, how do you think? Okay,
Look,
what
you've
did
got more
Debbie
information
do?
than I have.
What did Debbie? Well,
Oh
it's
my
because
God.
it's posted on John's
I'm in shock right now.
This is absolutely crazy.
I want to
It's
know what
fucking
we
bullshit.
know. Debbie agreed to help you, so stop. Don't even. I mean, I'm not trying to throw this lady under the bus again.
Look,
I,
I didn't know there even had been a call until just now.
So what were you apologizing for at the beginning of this? You knew Cody was going to try to get picked up. You knew that. So what exactly were you apologizing for? Because now you're fucking.
And Debbie told you, and Debbie told you they were 10 minutes from getting him right there. They were just 10 minutes away. So you and Debbie were communicating about ETAs. Now explain that. She told you they were 10 minutes from the time John was supposed to arrive at his mother's. Explain why Debbie had that information. Explain it. Because we already know. If you don't think Maria's already screenshot everything, you're wrong.
Thank you so much. Paul, we know your game better than
Kelly,
you obviously know your game because you've been doing it for the same shit for years.
Thank you, Days. Thank you, Kelly. Sorry.
Trying to take ownership. I'm trying to take responsibility. I'm not trying to play any games. I'm responsible. The liability is mine and mine alone.
Yeah, because you feel bad for involving Debbie, and I get that. But
I feel bad. I feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for everything, everyone. I feel bad for everything.
Okay, perfect.
And I especially feel bad all of the ladies, including ones on the panel.
All right, you've established those apologies like 10,000 times over, and I'm not trying to be rude, but we get it. Thank you.
Well, if I was a narcissist and I didn't care, I wouldn't do it, would I?
No, it's not the question at hand. The question at hand is now we want to know the meat and the potatoes, for lack of a better word, of what happened. What did you? We know that you asked this line of people to do it, and you got. I asked
people to get a call into Seaside. That's it.
No, you're lying.
Yeah, you got to tell the truth.
Because you came on here apologizing for getting all of us, especially Sweets, dragged over the Florida police. Do you think we have not seen the screenshots today of you talking about Cody getting picked up in Florida? And Cody getting picked up has nothing to do with John. So we've already seen that. You came on apologizing, and now you're back to I only ask people to call.
At the point,
shove your apology up your ass.
And you know what the absolute worst thing of this is? You're making us stick up for them.
Yeah, for real.
I'm actually
like really.
I was actually trying to agree with Volt then.
In a roundabout way.
I wanted them. Yeah,
a roundabout way. How long have we been online? Like, listen, spit it the fuck out. Grab those balls and be a fucking man and spit it the fuck out. Oh my God. I hate getting mad like
because
this.
Once I think there will be no room left to speculate if you just say exactly how it happened. Because all this speculation got poor Sweets' husband impersonating a police officer last night. Okay.
I feel as guilty as hell about everything, especially that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because all these loose ends aren't tied
up. My wife's from the same culture,
You hold the information of all the loose ends that need to be tied up, and until they're tied up, we're going to keep catching fucking hell.
And the bottom line of it is, it's all my fault. And if John wants to come after me between now and every day till the end of time, then at the end of the day, it's my fault, my responsibility.
Oh, he will. Don't worry about that.
Again, what's it gonna do if he comes after you? You're overseas, dude. Like, honestly.
I mean, what's worse that's gonna happen? You get a chocolate dick, Paul? I mean, come on.
At this point, he might need one.
And that's it. That's pushing it. I mean, international shipping is expensive. So, like, just tell us what happened. Don't worry, Debbie's not going to get raked over the coals because, like I said, I'm going to stress to you guys, she's a vulnerable, much older lady, okay? That is very impressionable. So she's not going to get the blame. You're taking it all. Don't you worry. But we want to know.
Brooke, did I not say happened? That I take all the blame at the start of the call?
Yeah, this is...
Oh, my God.
Paul, this all originated on the 19th. Actually, what day did they start driving? The 18th? The call was done on the 19th. I mean, this all originated whenever you started going into people's DMs. So we'll say the 18th.
And Jennifer, to your point and to Volt's point, if you're asking me at the end of the day, did I want them both picked up? Did I want them both held accountable? Which Volt, I believe, was your point. I think Volt asked me the question, did I want them both picked up? Was that your question, Volt?
No, my question is, what the hell does Cody have to do with John? Who cares about a weed warrant? Who really cares? What does Cody do besides act dumb in the background? Let's be real.
I wanted to answer your question and Jennifer's together, okay?
But listen, we want people held accountable. First off, if in fact they were going to see his sick mother, we would not jeopardize that, okay? We're not that evil. And I'm not about to call in somebody's warrant.
Jennifer, I felt they were both, again, I'm not trying to justify my actions, but if you want an honest answer, I felt
But you are.
I'm not. I'm trying to give you the honest answer to your question. Okay? I felt they were both accountable. I felt they both needed to be held accountable, and I felt that they were both responsible for a lot of the stuff that had been done to me and others. Was that a completely wrong judgment? Absolutely. That's how I felt.
You don't speak for us.
I was talking to myself. I was acting alone by myself. This is my point to you. You ladies asked me to be accountable. You asked me to be responsible. You asked me not to go around in circles, okay? You asked me to be honest. You asked me not to lie, okay? the bottom line of it, that's how I felt at the time. I felt they were both responsible and both accountable. I've been driven out of my mind by all of the hate that had been poured on me by him and his two acolytes. I was hurting and I was upset. And I was scared, driven out of mind, paralyzed by fear. And it was irrational and I wasn't doing the right thing. And I apologized to everybody, especially Cody and his family, and John for that matter. And that chokes me as much as it chokes the rest of you. And yeah, I'm accountable. And that's the honest answer.
Why did you choose that time? Why didn't you choose 3 days before that when he was doing threats? When he, I mean, this all stemmed, Paul, stop. This all stemmed when he saw we were complaining and saying something to you about in chit chat or in the messages, and he tagged you in a post and he said TikTok, and you took that as a death threat. You took that as a death threat. If you took that as a death threat, how do you think we felt when he threatened bullets between the eyes?
1,000 times worse, because the threats that you received were 1,000,000 times worse than what I got, and you are right.
Exactly.
And you are right.
But the day he did that, why didn't you do something then? Why did you choose when they went online and said they were driving south?
From my recollection, it was around the same time, and clearly it wasn't. It was afterwards.
It was the day before.
Well, I've lost track of the time. So the bottom line of it was, I'd had my IC3 papers in. I needed a response. There was another post somewhere along the line or something. I think there was a Reddit post that he'd commented on, you know, with all this NAMBLA crap, and it just triggered me and it pushed me and it tipped me. And it was one thing and another thing and another thing. And again, I take accountability and I take ownership. It's my fault. I'm responsible. And none of you ladies should ever have been attacked. And if I could trade places with with both of you, with all of you, and physically take the bullets myself, I would. I wish I could trade places with every single one of you, because it's my fault and I'm sorry. To the bottom of my heart and to my grave and back, I'm sorry. None of you ladies deserved anything. And if I could take all of it on me, I would.
You should have 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I should have June 19th.
I should have. Absolutely,
no,
I should have.
You were concerned. You were concerned about being dragged. That's all you cared about. No, Paul, that's all you cared about. Is being dragged. You didn't give a shit about us. You didn't give a shit about what happened.
I was traumatized and paralyzed by fear.
Oh God! What are you, 5? You were traumatized by John.
If you want to say that I acted cowardly and selfishly, I'll agree with you.
Traumatized. Get the fuck out of here.
You're no different than them. You were thinking of yourself. No different than them.
If you want to say
that's all you were thinking about.
I couldn't see past my own fears and my own trauma and the fear from my own family. You are right. And I should have had a bigger picture, and it was wrong.
Yeah, so fuck our family.
I'll make sure that I send Cody and John a life jacket and a floaty boat so they can drift off overseas to you. Like, come on, Paul.
Jennifer, I'm not saying it's rational, but that's how I felt at the time. And I'm saying I'm responsible, and I'm saying I'm sorry, because at the end of the day, it's a non-credible, non-rational frame of mind. All right?
You're supposed to be an educated man. Like, you keep giving this bullcrap that you're a therapist. How are you giving your patients advice if you can't even take it yourself? I'm sorry, I keep coming back to this, but Paul, come on, think about it.
You have every right to attack my credentials, okay? And at the end of the day,
it's speaking truth, Paul. It's speaking truth.
Have I disputed a single word?
Because if you're telling, listen, it's a hypocrite. If you're telling your patients,
I'm agreeing with you, aren't I?
Sorry, I didn't hear you agree with me. I thought you were disagreeing with me and saying I was attacking your credentials, because I am.
No, I said you've got every right to attack my credentials, because at the end of the day, I lost professional objectivity as per my training, and I got caught up in my own subjective situation, which vindicates every word that you said and vindicates your 100% right to attack any and all academic qualifications I have. I actually agree with you.
You have none.
Irrespective of whether I have or not, I agree with you.
Okay, well, I'm dropping down because now I'm getting PTSD and trauma from this conversation with a narcissist.
I need freaking
And I
therapy
can't,
too.
I'm
he
not a
just
narcissist.
goes around and around. You are
I
a
was agreeing.
narcissist because
I've
no,
agreed with every word
because
you
what a
said.
narcissist does is
Is
says
this.
what they think people want to hear
No,
and then somehow bring it back to woe is me. That's what a narcissist does.
I'm not
I've
trying to
been
say
through
woe
enough.
is
No,
me.
oh,
No,
100%.
really?
I'm not
You're
trying to
not?
But
say
the
woe is
thing is
me.
also, your
I'm not trying to
gaslighting
say
did
woe is
not
me.
work in this panel. No gaslighting here, buddy. It did not work.
Madam, I'm not
And
trying to
We
yes,
gaslight.
were
you
informed
are.
yesterday, Paul.
I'm
This
owning
stuff works
everything
for
up.
other people, but not for these women up here, Paul. It will
Madam,
not work. You
Madam,
will
I'm not
not
asking,
gaslight anybody here.
I'm not
You
trying
were
to.
wrong. Own up
I'm,
to it.
I,
Stop
I was
it.
I was in the wrong. I own everything. I apologize. I want no sympathy or anything from anybody. I don't deserve any of it. I own everything, and I'm sorry. I'm responsible. John
Just
Yates
like when
thinks
you went
I'm not.
on Heidi's panel and played victim.
It wasn't my intention to play victim.
Really? As soon as you got up there, you played victim.
I'm sorry you have that
And then the
opinion. That
next
wasn't my
day,
intention.
everything blew up the following day.
Was not my intention to try and play victim. It was my intention to try and
It
repair
was
a
your
relationship.
intention.
It wasn't. I'm
Either
not a
way,
victim.
I hope
I'm
you
not a
keep to
victim.
your word, and I hope you do stay away from everybody and stop trying to be a damn hero, because you've done nothing but cause grief. And if anything happens to these ladies or
It's on
myself,
you.
the blood is on your
On
freaking
you.
hands, and you
On
can
you.
live with it.
Yep. Thank you so much, Brooke. I love you, ladies. I'm dropping down.
Love you, ladies.
Love
Have a good day.
you. Thanks for coming up. I'm in a dead zone. Well, and I think Savage brought up a good point, and we are ending at a perfect time so she does not have to reschedule her members only. But she brought up a good point. I might go in a dead zone. If I do, I'll be right back to finish. But why don't you consider clicking John's link, Paul, and straightening this out with him, man to man, okay? Because
if he drops a link for me, that's a good idea.
Put a one in. Has he not dropped a link for Paul yet? Y'all need to discuss this. You need to clear this up with him, because the only reason we are even caring to get to the bottom of it is because of the freaking backlash of the blame getting tossed this way. And again, if you didn't want people to get hurt, you watched us being hurt. You watched us being threatened.
Brooke, I gave you the honest answer to that point.
In front of us.
People, I was
powerful.
I'm not going to say it. At the end of the day, it was never my intention to go to ground and make it a spectator sport. And if people think I did that, then they've got every right to do so, because at the end of the day, it's a consequence of actions. But was it an initial intention? Absolutely not. I wanted people to be safe.
Okay,
if people want to say that I'm weak and I'm pathetic and I'm inadequate and everything else, you're right. Am I a gaslighter and a narcissist? No, I'm not. I take responsibility. I own responsibility. I would never want anybody. I never want any lady. Absolutely, I never want any lady, Brooke, to get hurt. Absolutely, it's the last thing on earth I want. I wanted every lady to be safe.
Okay,
but at the end of the day, trying to do that, I've done the opposite.
That match that you lit and the fire that you started, you left a bunch of women to fight your fucking fire.
The bottom line of it, at the end of the day, actions have consequences, and the consequences were never the intended actions, all right? And I own it, and I take responsibility, and I'm here taking responsibility and owning it, Brooke.
Taking responsibility and owning it means telling us what the fuck happened.
I've just been trying to.
No, we just really want to. This is what happened. I asked. We already know that you already asked several people. They said no. Debbie said yes.
I asked for help with calls into Seaside. The first thing I knew about any anonymous call was now Brooke. I'm shocked. I didn't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, yeah. He's.
I didn't.
Look at the threats.
If you want me to get a link for me to go on John's panel, I'll do it.
Absolutely. Go square up with him, because I tell you what, I'm not believing that you won't just tell us how the fuck everything came to fruition. I can't believe you won't tell us because if it was an anonymous call, you realize an FBA agent
I didn't know there'd been an anonymous.
An FBI agent isn't going to be
Brooke,
calling
I didn't know there'd been I didn't know there'd been an anonymous call. All right.
An FBI
If John wants me on
agent would
panel,
not.
if
I
John
didn't
wants me,
know until right before I went live, Paul. It says caller anonymous.
yeah,
So
I
if
didn't
it was
know,
the
Brooke.
FBI,
I
I've never
didn't know.
seen an FBI agent not flash his credentials, or at very least say them
Brooke,
over the fucking
Brooke,
phone.
I didn't know. All right, I didn't know. And at the end of the day,
So-
if John wants me till the end of time, at the end of the day, I made a decision, bad decision, terrible decision, haunt me for the rest of my life decision. And at the end of the day, no lady deserved to be, you know.
So Debbie called anonymously.
I have no idea who's put an anonymous call in. I don't.
But you gave her the directive to make the call, and the next thing
No, I did not.
Hold on.
No, I
the
did
next
not.
thing.
The only thing I've ever asked. The only thing I've ever asked for was help with a call into Seaside, and that was it. In terms
Okay,
of
well then why
calls.
was she giving you play-by-plays of what time and when Cody was going to be being picked up? Why?
I'm trying to rationalize. I didn't know about any anonymous calls.
I'm asking you, why didn't you say there was no? Well, golly gee, Debbie loves to chat. Well, how the fuck would you know anything about the ETA?
Look, I've been out of my mind for the last God knows how long.
So,
I don't know.
did you give Debbie Cody's mom's address? I mean, if you want to go out looking like a liar, that's on you. If you want to go out looking like
I'm trying to, Brooke, I'm not trying to do that.
Paul, you're not telling the truth. You're lying by omission. You're not connecting any dots. He's told us now the cops have been there twice. Now, if there was really only one call, that's something
I
we
didn't
need to
know the police
because
had been there
that's still
twice.
a lie. Okay, well,
I'm not trying to sit here and lie.
Okay, if you're only involved in the one call during the middle of the day on
do you want to explain? Would you like to explain it to me then?
Oh, I'm asking you because I happen to know for a fact that you gave Debbie a directive and she followed through with said directive.
I haven't given anybody directive. At the end of the day, I may have passed on the address. Probably did pass on the address.
Paul, at the beginning of this live stream, we discussed you asking Phil, Amzie, Maria, Bambi, and God, I keep forgetting somebody.
For calls into Seaside, Brooke.
They all said no, and then
but correct.
And then you said, but Debbie said okay.
And I should never have asked anybody.
I mean, that's what half of this conversation's been about. And again, I'll stress the fact that that's like, that's really gross to ask somebody that you know has intermittent dementia.
I didn't know. It may have been mentioned to me in passing, but at the end of the day, if I was told, obviously, and of course, if I'd have had that cognition at the front, absolutely, I would never have gone it. She should never. Anyway, I would never do somebody like that. I've got somebody very close in my own family who suffers from it.
Okay, and I heard you refer to me as waterboarding you the other day. Do you understand that I wouldn't have to fucking waterboard you?
It was a Brooke. It was a figure of speech. It was a figure of speech.
No, I know it's a. I wasn't literally waterboarding you. I understand that. I was.
I apologize for the use of the term.
No, I'm not worried about the comment. You can say, please. My skin is way too thick for you to have to worry about saying something like that about me. I could care less.
Well, we did used to be friends once. We did used to be friends once.
Say about that is, it would be a lot fucking easier to not have to, I'm only doing what I have to do to extract information from you that you just don't want to give up. And at the end of the day, owning it and being responsible and taking accountability.
Brooke, I'm here trying to own everything, aren't I?
Well,
I want all these ladies safe.
I feel like I'm talking to a doll with a fucking string in its back and I keep pulling the string and I'm getting different responses. That's really what I feel like I'm talking to. One of my baby dolls. Ugh. I understand. We understand the apology, the accountability, the safety, all the things. Now what we want to know is, so just a confirmation that you and Debbie, that Debbie made this call, which
I don't know about any call. I don't know about any of these calls. Okay, I don't know.
Do you know about her? Do you know about her telling you that they only missed him by 10 minutes?
I recall that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how would she know that?
Brooke, it's my responsibility with all of it, all right?
Then you should be a man and take responsibility for all of it, including Debbie's part in it.
Brooke, have I not been doing that?
No, because you won't tell us the part.
Brooke, I'm here taking responsibility from all of it, and I'm going to have the whole wrath of John Yates down on me for the rest of my life, okay?
go tell your wife. Why don't you go tell your wife to what you've been doing? Missy really wants you to go tell her. Oh my word. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I figure that this would be this. I always feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. No offense, man, but with you, because it's just like it's the same.
Well, you're probably going to block me after this, aren't you? So
I thought you were not coming back into chats anyway.
I'm not.
Okay. Well. So I hope that if you do decide to, which would be the honorable thing to do, would go have this discussion for man to man, because this is really fucking stupid.
If he drops a link or calls me in private, I'll talk to him.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of unsolicited advice, and that's going to be you better have a little bit more answer and clarification than you do here. I'm just tired, and I don't feel like we all know what happened last time. I was trying to get information out of you, and it didn't end well.
Yeah, I was ill last time, Brooke, and that's not an excuse. It's a fact. All right. And if anybody thinks my behaviour was asymptomatic of that.
Oh, you were ill prior. Gotcha.
No, I was ill after. But anyway, and it was building, and it discharged. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, this has been real, and this has been fun, but I feel like we're like basically back at point zero. And again, your feet wouldn't be being held close to the fire again, but here comes a video. Then we still can't find a damn call. And then it didn't take, well, I say all morning, for the first half of the morning, finding out that, I don't know what the fuck y'all did, like calling an out of jurisdiction police department to have that jurisdiction's police department contact the other jurisdiction that is in jurisdiction, and that's why nothing could be found on it, because we were having a
look, Brooke.
And so John then comes up with these conspiracies. I mean, this is really, really, really tumbled out of control.
It has, Brooke, and I take full responsibility. I apologise to everybody, especially the three ladies who were on the panel.
And Maria.
I was coming to Maria, please. You know how much I love and care Maria. I've been friends with her for years. You know that. Absolutely, I apologise to Maria. And at the end of the day, Maria would never do anything like that for me. Could never do that. Told me she would never do anything.
Okay, well, let's backtrack. And at first,
and at the end of the day now, my good friend of 5 or 6 years is never going to speak to me ever again. All right? And it's my fault, okay?
Okay.
Like the same way that you and I used to be close, and you'll never speak to me again, and I'm going to be gone, okay?
Okay. Well, first of all, that's really not, we don't need to be pitying ourselves right now, Paul. Come on. But now I totally lost my track of thinking, which maybe was the whole point of that tantrum. But
Maria was nothing to do with anything stupid that I did. Okay.
Now I forgot what. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Now I forgot.
Do you want to drop me and block me and just get rid of me?
Oh, someone called. That's right. So when we first started this, a couple days shy of a week ago, you told us you kept referring to you calling the FBI. The FBI did it. The local office, whatever. FBI.
My understanding that any calls would have been a local resource routed through on the back of these forms and then straight into local PD. That's what I thought.
Seaside isn't local to Florida, though. So
I'm talking about because I was asked about Florida, and at the end of the day, what I wanted was Seaside to finally do something to protect people. People are being bloody threatened with everything under the sun.
You don't think I called Seaside when this fool was online calling my job in the middle of the night, leaving messages?
I saw you on live doing it, and they never did anything.
Exactly.
And I remember the Paul Staley stuff, and I remember everything else. And I saw your HR email address, being doxed on the bloody screen. All of this has been going around my brain like a bloody washing machine. I just want everybody to be safe. And absolutely me wanting everybody to be safe and being blinded by the safety of my own family. Yes, it's made it all worse. Yes, it's my fault. Yes, I'm responsible. And yes, everyone should hate me for the rest of my life and block me and never have anything to do with me ever again, including you. That's not gaslighting. That's ownership.
Okay, well, so we admitted to the FBI.
I am admitting that I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm the
Now-
problem. Everyone should be done
now-
with me. All right?
I'm not done. You quit interrupting me. That's really fucking rude.
Try to take
Anyway,
ownership.
so well, maybe if you'd be quiet, you would notice I'm trying to talk. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is the FBI, and I just said it a minute ago, but I think you were also talking. The FBI is not going to ever call initiating another call to another police department.
Well, you know more than I do then. So, all right, you know more than I do. Clearly, I know nothing. And I'm done with. I'm done with. You know more than I do. Okay.
Well, I mean, I do live in the United States, and I do know that every FBI agent that I've ever seen, whether, mostly on TV, I got to admit, I haven't had to have close calls within the FBI agents, but I do know they identify themselves, and as do,
Well, you've got more information. I'm not American. You know more than I do. All right.
In fact, if it was an FBI agent calling in a favor, they would most definitely be using their name and credentials in order to get said.
Well, look,
favor.
you know more. Listen, Brooke, you know more than I do. All right. I take full responsibility. I take accountability. I take ownership. Okay. Everyone should block me, and they won't still hear from me again. All right.
All right. I guess we're done here because we're walking around in circles. Thanks for being here. I guess that's that. Cheerio. Oh my God. No wonder I had to have some fucking wine last time we had this discussion. Like, for real? Lord have mercy. So there it is. You can go over and finish this conversation with John, but I just wanted to make sure it was real fucking clear that not only did none of us know about any of this shit going on, but you've got to rewind back to the good old days where Paul would make these idle threats all the fucking time, and nothing ever happened. And then one day, the FBI shows up at Jules. I'm like, how the hell? And I've said this 1,000 times. How does someone from across the fucking pond get the FBI to show up at Jules? Like, are you kidding me? So, and even before and after that, he was feverishly trying to get shit done to people. And John can attest to that himself because he had to tell him to stop. So why this is a big surprise to anybody, it's just shocking. John, you of all fucking people knows what this fucking guy does. And for you to act appalled and just shocked that this would be anything other than Paulism again, why are you acting like this and threatening people? You've been a part of when he did this on your behalf and had to fucking put your foot down, John. So stop acting like this is out of the realm of possibility. At least today we found out because he told all kinds of people who he got to finish the fucking errand for him. So if y'all don't believe me, I'm pretty sure there was a stream done earlier. I don't know if she mentioned names this morning, like way early in the morning before the sun came up early, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to read all of y'all's comments after I stop. But that was rough. I feel like at least every time that the 2 times that this has happened, and this will be the last fucking time because that's a waste of energy. That is Paul, if you're really into, if you're all these things, then you need to study on it. If you really, I don't even know what to say. You can't just sit there and apologize and talk over people. And this is the same crap I remember him doing before. You're welcome. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it was on the road again. I hate it. I hate doing these on the road, but oh well. Sometimes you just gotta multitask. But y'all are more than welcome. I think there's a little more clarity. I think that's been established. I think that this is something that he did on his own. He went behind the scenes. He asked a bunch of people to do it. They all gave him a no. I mean, look at who he asked. Phil. Who hates John the most? We've already heard him talking to TL saying he did it out of spite. So we know the motive. And then he went to all these people to do it for him. And they all said no until he got to Debbie. Debbie obliged. And now all we need to know is if Debbie called anonymously or if somebody did on her behalf, because we know good and well an FBI agent was not involved in any of this shit. Oh, who knows? I mean, maybe he did, but I guess nobody talks to GB to find out. Napa, do you still talk to her? And if so, did he ask her to do it too? He damn sure didn't ask my ass to do it. And if he did, it was in a DM I never saw, because I only opened that DM with him last Thursday when I went live, about 13 minutes or 9 minutes or however long it was before I did. And again, I can't stress this enough. Please do not attack Debbie. Like, please, I don't think that lady means, I know what she did or her involvement isn't cool, but consider the fact that there is an illness there that is legitimate. And I know Julie calls her Debbie likes to lie or whatever. Julie, you need to understand that is a process. I mean, it really is intermittent sundowners, which is, dementia at different times of the day. So if you've never dealt with a loved one with dementia, then you can also do your own research on that. Wait, what Napa say? And anyway, and it was, again, so good to see all of y'all back in here, Jen and Mary and Sarah. And did I miss anybody? My gosh. And thank y'all for coming on panel Faulty. So we could at least somewhat clear this up. And if Maria could have come live or been on panel, she would have. But thank you for being in the chat. Like, hopefully this at least helps somewhat to put the pieces together and at least help stop the conspiracy theories and people dressing up as police officers and all this bullshit. Because, it's fucking dangerous what you're doing. And it's not cool to erroneously sit there and completely drag people that have literally nothing to do with this fuck shit. They spoke through IG. What'd you say, Lisa? Debbie knows what she's. What does she? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember, and I don't know. Like I said, I've always chalked it up to, kind of what I'm saying right now. Kind of like Jen. When Jen said I was, what did she say about me? A prostitute, and then I think I passed away, or Maria did 6 times. I mean, you kind of, that's why I never, ever one time responded to Jen, because you just kind of chalk it up to, what am I really going to sit there and argue with? Somebody that, But anyway, regardless of what calls were made, death threats. Exactly. Absolutely. And I need to thank you for bringing that point up. Regardless, the punishment never fits the crime with John. It's always resorting in violence or ruining one's life. None of this shit is worth any of it. And furthermore, John, what a great way to deflect from the fact that you completely lied about being at Angela's ever, when the walls are the exact same wall. Like I probably would have picked a different wall, John. Like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? Or Skyla's, or wherever the fuck they were. Places that people go live in frequently that are, reality TV stars, Because I think, and I did hear a little bit of E11's live, like, at that, it's full stop. When you lie about something like that, like, I really wasn't there, when there's a picture proof that you were not in Georgia. I mean, in Florida, you were in Georgia, 100% proven, and then you want to still come back and double down and lie and say no, it wasn't, when the proof is right there for everyone to see. Full stop, right there. Everything you say, as if we already hadn't been at that full stop where we quit believing everything you say. Because trust me, that was long ago when I stopped believing anything that John says. But for everybody else that might have been believing his bullshit, y'all have eyeballs. Y'all might be new around these parts, but aren't y'all like, what the fuck? This dude is straight up denying being where he's at. And then to have the wherewithal to not even use the correct, what is even the word? He would say, instead of saying, I'm not there, he'd say, I'm not here. John, you didn't even have the wherewithal to change where you were. I am not at Skyla's or Angela's. Whose house was he at? Which one? I'm still confused on that. I'm not at Skyla's. So why? Angela's not even here. So why would I be here? She's in New York. Did you not even realize you were doing that? I'm not here. And then 5 seconds later coming back with Angela's not here. So no, nothing you say after that means anything. But then to go on and make threats, cutting brake lines, literally shooting people. Literally. Because you had the opportunity to play victim. And because nobody knew about it, we all thought you were a fucking liar. Sorry. Kind of goes along with the territory of saying you were somewhere you weren't when you were a couple days prior, as if we didn't already have prior history to know that you were full of shit. Nobody ever said your mother-in-law is not sick. You've made that up too, just to further vilify us and victimize yourself. Nobody ever said it. Please prove where it was said. Please play it. Please show the screenshot. You were up till early as fuck, so you should have gotten any proof. You said you were going to show it, I thought. So I implore you, Paul, go handle the rest of this up with John. You've laid out the foundation, the framework. Now hopefully he can suck it out of you, because I'm done with being threatened. I'm done with my friends being threatened. I'm done with this horse shit and this reason that he's using every single night to both make money, hate on people he doesn't like, and be justified for it. It needs to fucking stop today. Tonight. So Paul, if he drops that link and you don't click it, I'm sorry about that. I hit another dead spot. You gotta love when that happens. Anyway, well, I'm gonna get off of here. Thanks again to my panelists for coming up, and again for every one of y'all being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rainbow. Oh my gosh, Rainbow! I didn't even see your super chat. Did I see your super chat? Rainbow 910 for the super chat. Thank you, Kelly, for the super chat. Thank you, Days, for the super chat. Thank you, Rainbow, for being a member for 8 months. And thank you again, Kelly, for the super chat. That they would be safe if you stayed out of it. I appreciate that, guys, so much. Yeah, so there it is. And hopefully all the reasons and justifications can be extinguished and all this bullshit can stop, because at the end of the day, you're blaming the wrong fucking people, and I think you know it. And if you didn't know it then, hopefully you know it now. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and it was so good to see all of you. I didn't mean to not see it, Rainbow. I'm sorry. That's proof I'm watching the road, folks. Anyway, y'all have a good one. See you guys later. Bye-bye.